Hey guys, Yaku here from Identity, and we have Bertus van Rensburg here. He's not just a CrossFit coach and a fitness professional, but he's also a medical professional and a medical doctor. So we're going to talk about the thing that everybody's talking about, the coronavirus, aka COVID-19, aka Mumbo number death. I'm just kidding. We need to keep it lighthearted. Okay, so Bertus, what is this whole Corona COVID-19?
Well, okay, I think first of all we need to just say that it is a respiratory infection, and it's basically flu. So we get a lot of strands of flu. You get a lot of names that are thrown around. Actually, we've learned about rhino, corona, adenovirus, all these things. But I think the big hysteria has come because someone's given it a name. They've called it coronavirus, and because the president's actually addressed the situation. But the thing with coronavirus is a respiratory infection, and they've actually said that it's a zoonotic infection. So basically what they said, it's in some cases it gets transferred from animals to humans, and that's what happened probably in China. They eat a lot of weird things, and that's how they got it. But basically it spreads from human to human very quickly with poor people who actually have poor hygiene.
Okay, cool. So that's the basics. So the key that we want to go into this is basically the precautions that individuals can take, the precautions that gyms can take, and what happens that if you have symptoms. So let's talk about the individual members. What precautions can an individual member take for this epidemic that we're sitting in?
Sure. Well, I'll just put myself in the situation. So what I would do and what I would encourage other people to do is, first of all, hygiene. So be very, very diligent in washing your hands. So if you come into a gym or into even your home, that you actually you wash your hands immediately. When you leave that place, that you wash your hands immediately before you leave. So that's a big thing. Also, when you get to your house, that you actually take off the clothes that are possibly infected, throw them in the wash immediately, and take a shower. Be clean before you go into your house. We don't want to infect our families. We don't want to infect other people. So that's the biggest things. Now, for me, if we go into hygiene, that is actually to say, before I use gym equipment, whether it's a bar, whether it's a kettlebell, a wall ball, a bench press, that I wipe it off with some disinfectant. Normally it's alcohol based, and I wait till it dries. And the big thing is that when I then use the equipment, that I put a towel down so that my sweat doesn't contaminate it. And if I did sweat on it, that I clean it afterwards. But in any case, I would just say for a good hygienic practice, just clean it afterwards in any case. Other things is, because we know that this gets transmitted through respiratory droplets. So basically that means when I cough, when I sneeze, some people they spit when they yawn or when they clear their throat. So I just say to all my patients, in these situations, cover your mouth. Wherever you cover your mouth, whether flex elbow, whether you do it inside of your shirt, whether you use your hand and then wash your hand afterwards, cover your mouth. No one wants your infection, and that's a big thing. And it's not only with COVID, it's not only with Corona, it is actually part of our daily lives. If you cough, I've been taught that since I was a little boy. My mom said, put your hand in front of your mouth. So that's what I encourage people to do. I encourage my patients to do, to cover those things.
Okay, cool. So now, that with basic hygiene, is there anything others, taking hygiene aside, that members can do to protect their immune system, to build their immune system, that if they are going to get it, that they will, ride the storm, or just go through this, bit easier than usual?
I do hear you, Aki, and I think with that we also need to speak about what gyms can do, which we'll get to right now. But first of all, like if you're worried that you're gonna get it, or that you have symptoms of flu, the best is to treat the symptoms. So I would say go to a medical professional, go and ask, say I have these symptoms. They're probably going to ask you, do you have a travel history? If you don't, it's possibly just flu. but that we then give you symptomatic treatment. Something for the nose that's blocked or runny, something for your cough, something for that sore throat and painful body, and sometimes even fever. So we just need to look at those things. But basically, I would say you can even just boost yourself with some vitamin C, just some normal vitamins as well. We also have to look at what a box can do to protect the members, or a gym can do to protect.
No, that's a very important. So let's quickly go through that. So we're sitting. Everybody is a little bit in a panic that and then I think it's the responsibility of a gym or box or studio owner to give their members some ease of mind and to put some systems in to increase general hygiene. So what's your recommendation to any gym, studio, box to increase their hygiene to their members and make it easier for their members?
Well, first of all, I would say, like what we're doing now, to educate your members on what is this, as well as like just on basic hygiene. So educate your members on basic hygiene and what we can do in a gym. So like I said to you just now, basically going through cleaning the equipment before you use it, cleaning the equipment after you use it. But what we specifically as a box can do, we can supply soap and water so that people can wash their hands before and after. We can actually in between classes go and wipe handles of doors. We can wipe equipment if we know that it hasn't been wiped, our members didn't do it. We can specifically as coaches or owners of gyms can actually go and clean these surfaces. That's the biggest things. And then also, again, to remind your people, when you are sick, rather don't come. Stay at home. You've heard it. Isolate yourself until you are better. Then you can, come back to the box. But I would say, or to the gym. But I would rather say, if you are sick, if you know you're sneezing and coughing, please don't come to the gym. Stay at home until you are better. To say to people, if you've coughed on something or sneezed on something, to take some alcohol and to clean it, or some sanitizer and to clean that surface as well. The other thing is, you've heard about this thing of actually distancing yourself about 2 meters. So a practical thing that boxes can do or gyms can do is to it doesn't really work in the sense of big gyms so much because it's very difficult to distance people. The machines are very close together. But in a box, we can actually put tape and say, this is your dedicated space, and make sure that there's a right amount of space between the people. Make sure there's good ventilation in your gym as well. And say to people, this is your area. You keep it clean before the time. You keep it clean after the time. You can even actually fine our people if they don't do that, because this is important. We want to, first of all, protect ourselves, protect our families. So protect ourselves from not getting it, as well as protect our families or other people in society to not get the virus.
And you touched on it, and I think it's clear to say, and I wanna reiterate this, is that it is the gym's owner's responsibility to enforce hygiene on your members. Not everybody is as cleanly as everybody else. Some people won't not worry about this, where some people it's extremely important to keep hygiene. And if we don't take responsibility and make sure that every member cleans when they come in, cleans the equipment, have your staff constantly monitoring if equipment is cleaned or not after use. If we don't take responsibility as owners, then our members is going to suffer. So we can't expect the members to be diligent regarding this. We as owners or the gym owners must be the ones that's diligent.
No, definitely. And I see that on a daily basis is we need to educate people. I say to my patients as well, if you see someone who doesn't cover their cough, to tell them, please cover your cough, cover your sneeze, because you are actually infecting people. And again, like I said, I think this thing of COVID-19 has actually just woken people up to the fact that we are bad at hygiene. We are bad at etiquette and of basically just sometimes general manners, like I said, like covering a cough or a sneeze. And we need to, even if people get angry at you, you need to actually speak to them and say, guys, remember this. Remember that it's not only for you, but it's also for the other people that we infect. And the the fact of the matter is, Yaku, if we look at South Africa, if we just our country itself, I'm not even speaking about the world, we have a lot of people that are immunocompromised. We have a lot of people that have things that you don't even know they have: diabetes, chronic obstructive lung disease, kidney failure that we don't know, heart failure, HIV, the big one, and TB, the big ones going around. And these people are very susceptible to this infection. And if they get it, their immune system is not going to fight it as well as yours. And they could potentially lead to a lot of complications. For example, pneumonia, the biggest thing that we see, and that's why a lot of people are landing up in hospitals and needing IV antibiotics, as well as sometimes oxygen. And the other one is the acute respiratory syndrome. That is the buzzword that people are saying, oh, people are being put on respirators or ventilators. So we want to protect people from that. We don't want to be selfish and say, oh, I won't get it. And if I get it, I will survive it. We want to think about other people that might not survive it.
Yeah.
So for me as a doctor, I believe in education and prevention rather than cure.
Okay, cool. So let's talk about symptoms. What is things that you need to look at as a member, and then what do you need to do if you have these symptoms?
Again, Yaku, it's very non-specific symptoms, because these things can actually mean a lot of things. But the symptoms that we are looking at, they can mask themselves as flu or even influenza, or even a common cold. But the buzzwords that people are looking for is fever and coughing.
Okay.
So if you have coughing and fever, as well as a history of traveling in the last 2 weeks, whether it be abroad or even in areas where there is infections now, or if you've been in contact with someone that has actually tested positive for corona, of course, you should be tested. We should make sure that you don't have it. Other symptoms that you, like I said, are non-specific: body pains and aches, headaches, and sore throat. Those are, and sometimes, if it's more severe, your shortness of breath. So those are the ones that are less common, but you still find them with COVID-19. And then actually runny nose is actually a very rare symptom, but some people do experience that.
Okay, so then basically a lot of people talking about like self-isolation. So if you experience some cold symptoms, is it a good thing to just keep yourself away from public, even though it could not be COVID-19, but just basic, keep yourself away, get yourself better? What's your opinion regarding self-isolation, and how do you implement that as a member or as the general public?
Okay, this is a very difficult question. I would say if you have, if you have tested positive, please isolate yourself. Please don't give it to other people. We really don't want it. So definitely, that's one of the things that I would say. If you're not sure, go see your general practitioner. Especially if you don't know if you might have got it, because a lot of people can be asymptomatic. It's normally has incubation a period of 2 weeks. So normally sometimes we even see symptoms only after 2 weeks. But basically, I would say if you're not sure, go see your general practitioner and let them examine you. They will ask you your history, they'll ask you about travel history, they'll ask you about the symptoms, examine you, and let's see. And most of the time, what we do with our patients now is we will give them a sick note for between 5 and 7 days and say, please stay in your home, isolate yourself. Because that's the big thing. A lot of people think when I get a sick note, this means I don't get to work, but I can sort of hang out in a mall or in a box or in a gym or whatever. No, you don't do that. When you have a sick note, it means you're sick. You stand at home and you get better before you go out. So I think that would be one of the big things that I would say. And if you're really worried, if you have fever and chest pain and, fever and coughing, tightness of the chest, and you've had a travel history, or if you've come in contact with someone with corona, I would definitely say phone the hotline. You can just go on the WHO, the World Health Organization's website. You can get all the numbers there that you can call. so that you can be tested, and then if you have it, we can actually notify it as a positive case.
Okay, cool. So final thoughts. If we need to sum this up, one-liner, what members can do and gym owners can do. Let's give some final thoughts on this.
Like I said, hygiene. Educate yourself on the condition, like we are doing now. And your final thoughts is still have fun. We are still here to have fun, to exercise, eat healthy, exercise. Come to your gym, but be cautious. And I would definitely just say, if you're sick, stay at home.
Okay, cool. So I just want to thank Bertus. Thank you for just educating us. Being a professional, that know what's happening. That we don't have mass hysteria. So we just want to thank Bertus, and then each and everyone out there, keep yourself safe. Practice good hygiene, and let's get over this. This hurdle that we have in this world quickly as possible, and let's get healthy and keep ourselves safe. Thank you guys, and have a great day. Bye.